Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to Real Talk. This is an insider's guide to real estate, life, and the pursuit of happiness. It's presented by the Yes Team Realtors. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. A new aspect of today's program, live on Instagram as well, Instagram Live. So what you're seeing here across the I Love CVille Network for the first time in the history of the network is this particular program is being streamed across Facebook, 5 Facebook pages, and also across I Love CVille Instagram and the Yes Team Realtors Instagram. Go check it out now. Judah Wickhauer, let's go to the studio camera here and let's welcome the distinguished gentleman, Keith Smith, to the program. Good morning, Keith. How are you?
I'm doing great. All this stuff. I got a new earpiece. I've got Instagram. And we're going to go old school and chat with a good friend of ours, Mark. And as I said earlier on the intro end of it, you're going to have to keep us in check because he and I are just going to forget about all these cameras and all this Instagram and all this Facebook stuff, and we'll get off talking about running and life and stuff. But I've been looking for a long time to showcase this family. It's a, they do it right, and I just can't wait for the opportunity to chat with them a little bit.
So Mark Lorenzoni of Ragged Mountain Running Shop is going to join us on Real Talk. And if you're watching here on Instagram, you can catch Mark Lorenzoni on our Facebook channels. And I'm excited for him. Ragged Mountain Running Shop, as institutional a business
Sure.
as you will find in Charlottesville.
So one of the new segments we're going to be trying to do on the show, at least once or twice a month, I really want to showcase some, that's a great choice of words, institutional
businesses.
These guys are, do it right. Just like one of our sponsors, MarieBette, right? They're community involved. They run a great business. Looking to chat with him to see how him and his family and his business made it through COVID and what's he sees on the future. So I'm super excited about it, man.
Okay, I love it. We'll get you back on the stream over there, the Yes Team Realtors. And if you want to slide over and let him jump in for the Instagram like you just did, because it looks like he jumped out of the conversation.
Well,
Judah will take care of that. I think
what's happening is my phone.
Yeah. So we'll take care of that. Don't worry about it. So let's talk about the market here as he's getting you set up. What are you seeing? What are you following with the market, Keith Smith?
Yeah, so at the back end of the show, we're going to chat a little bit once Alfred here gets me all fixed up. We're going to talk a little bit about, the market is still rocking and rolling, and we're back into inventory. End of it. I think the thing is it gets kicked out after a couple of minutes.
Okay, talk us about the inventory, Keith.
Yeah, got it. Yes, sir. Aye, sir. Yeah, so, I just took a quick look at, we've been talking about this 25-mile radius forever, or since at least March, and I just took a look at what's happening in the beginning of the third quarter, which is August 1 until today, in a 25-mile radius. But to make a long story short, there was 164 units sold, homes sold. This was not including new construction. We do this all the time. And the median sales price was $341,000. Same time last year, it was around $300,000. So we are. Hold on, guys. That's
you got your volume up.
I got it down now.
Okay.
We're 40K over.
Go ahead.
So the homes are selling $40,000 higher than they were this time last year. And then the other things I kind of wanted to chat a little bit about is, okay, what's going on in Charlottesville and Albemarle County? Because we've been talking about some of the surrounding areas quite a bit. And so same kind of dates thing in Charlottesville, 19 units sold since the beginning of the month. The days on market were 10, which is pretty low.
That is low.
$384,000. Same time last year was $325,000. So we're 56K, 55K over where we were this time last year. And the same quick set of numbers in Albemarle County. It was a little bit longer. We're 72 units sold, about 34 days on market. So, Charlottesville's cranking out these units still pretty fast. 10 days on market versus 34, same time period. much larger geographic area. So they was 425 was a medium sale this month to date. Last year, same period of time was 370. So again, it's about 55K over. So the city, for a quick snapshot, year over year, same time frame in the beginning of the month is trading, or as you like to use the word trading, or selling roughly $55,000 over. Same for the county. Little difference is they're staying on the market a little bit longer in the county than they are in the city. So we've been talking about, hey, is the city, market slowing down? It is not. It is, to use your famous word. Go ahead.
In fuego.
There you go.
In fuego, baby.
There you go. We can go back and visit these on the back end after we kind of get some of the technical bugs worked out. But, it's inventory. Rates are, I read an article this morning, folks like NAR, and they do some National Association of Realtors. They do some great statistical stuff. So the Lawrence Yun, is this chief economist, is projecting 3% or somewhere between 3 and 4% in 2021 as far as mortgage rates.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's great, though.
It's great. I just don't know how sustainable that is, right? The bottom line is the feds are kicking in capital, and that's what's kind of forcing that rate.
Yeah, they're back in the economy.
I think once that stops, and we talked about this on the show a bunch of times, my biggest concern is everybody now thinks 3% or 4% is normal, and it's not. So we shall see.
Well, I'll tell you what. I certainly hope that the rates stay low going into next year. I think demand is at an obscene time. Don't worry about that. Demand is at an obscene time from people wanting to move into a home with a backyard, with a studio, with an office. So I'm excited about that. You want to reach out to Mark?
I think so. I just got a text from Mark asking if we're still to go.
Okay, good. We will reach out to Mark now. J-Dubs, it's ringing. Giving you a heads up about that. When I welcome Mark on the show, what are you most excited to ask him?
Man, I just love talking to him.
Yeah, me too.
I just love the conversation.
We have Mark Lorenzoni on the line. Judah Wickauer, give me a heads up.
We'll probably do a little New York, New Jersey stuff.
I know. I totally think that's going to happen. We got a thumbs up from Judah. Mark, you're live. You're live in Charlottesville. You're live in the Commonwealth, in the country, and the world here on Real Talk. Mark, this is the beautiful thing about social media is you literally have folks in Europe watching you right now that are former customers. So, Mark, you're live. Yeah, get it so we can see that handsome face of yours right there. All right, so
handsome.
He is handsome. Come on now. All right, Mark, introduce yourself to everybody. Everyone in this town knows you already, but for those that don't, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, everyone. The few people that may actually, despite Jerry's hype there, that are actually tuning in, I appreciate it. My name is Mark Lorenzoni, and I'm happy to be with you all, and particularly Keith and Jerry this morning.
So, hey, Mark, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Keith.
I told everybody we have to be a little careful because we might go New York, New Jersey real fast. What part of Jersey are you from? Again, I always forget.
North Central, Morris County.
Morris County.
Mendham High School.
Really? And you actually say that out loud?
Far away.
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
Good for
proud
you,
of
man.
it.
Good for you.
President Ryan, Jim Ryan, Jersey boy.
There you go.
Runs the Miller Center, Jersey boy.
There you go.
Jersey folks in town.
Now all of a sudden I feel a little inadequate. I'm just from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. What do I know? So look, love the heck out of you and your family. Love the heck out of your shop. You've been nothing but great to my family and my kids. I showed up yesterday to do the show, right? And this guy has he remembers everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary,
yeah.
right? So I walk up. Our youngest daughter's a former Division I athlete, and right off the bat he goes, "So how's Yvonne doing out in Seattle?" And I went, "Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember her own name," and he's doing that. So tell us your story, man. Tell us, how you, for those who don't know the Ragged Mountain running shops story, tell us when it started and kind of where we're at. Can you just give us a quick little synopsis of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a family business. Cynthia and I started in '82, scared, terrified, with everybody pretty much telling us, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this? It probably isn't going to work." And we just really believed in it. Both were runners. Cynthia had been a competitive runner in high school and college, a collegiate runner, and I had started coaching, and I've been a runner myself, nowhere near the level of Cynthia. And we just felt like there were two needs in the community. One was a shoe store to serve folks, and then service in spreading the word that fitness, particularly weight-bearing fitness, walking and running, is something that everybody can do and embrace. And so we started out that first year on Elliowood Avenue, down the street, 500 square feet, tiny store upstairs. And Keith, Jerry, we averaged 3 shoes a day that first year. So that's a pair of shoes every 3 hours. And we made it. We made it through that first year, and bit by bit, with training programs and putting on events and just getting more involved in the community and getting people to believe in what we were doing. It's grown over the years, and now to the point we're almost 39 years in. We're still on Elliowood. We're in obviously it's a bigger location to serve the growth of the business. And our 2 oldest kids, I think one of the greatest joys, we put so much of our heart and soul literally into building the business and doing it what we think is the right way, treating people, the golden rule, all the way through, tried our darndest. And our 2 oldest kids loved it so much that they now own the business with us. And that just happened in January, right before COVID hit. So they're running the show pretty much. Cynthia and I listen to them, of course, but we still advise back and forth. In fact, the closing the business down on March 13th, in the sense of closing the doors, that was truly a family decision. I didn't want to. They did. I thought it was premature. Oh, this thing is going to blow through here, and we're going to be okay. And the kids felt really strongly because, Keith, our average age of our customer now is in the mid-50s. Half our customers are walkers, and we just felt at the time that was the wise thing, because so many people, we felt like who knew at that point, right, that much about the pandemic, so we just felt like it was the right thing to do. And we didn't know we were the first business to close, but we were, and we thought, oh my gosh, this is a scary thing to be doing, but because we did the unknown. But anyway,
this is why I love you.
The point being is that we make decisions together, and it's been fun, really fun.
This is why I love you.
Not the pandemic, but
yeah, no kidding. This is why I love you and your family and everything you guys do for the community. So you just basically just admitted you were wrong, and your family and your kids were spot on, but you listened to them, and that's a huge thing. So yesterday, how many shoes did you sell? We went from 3 to how many?
Gosh, I don't know, but
what's the last number you remember?
It's anywhere from 70 to 100 shoes.
Wow.
And it's not a bragging as much as I always tell people, never lose sight of the rear view mirror. You should always have your eyes on the road up ahead. And we never stop working hard, Keith. You know how that is.
Yep.
And I know Jerry feels the same way. Work hard. Never let your foot off the gas pedal. But you got to, every once in a while, look in that rearview mirror and remember where you've come from. And that 3 shoes a day, and I still appreciate every sale. And, Keith, we have people that wear those 3 shoes a day that still shop here with their grandchildren.
That's
One
awesome.
of them was just out front. So that means a lot, that their daughters and now their grandson are shopping here.
So I was just out, as you know, I was just out visiting Yvonne out west, right, in the new house, and literally, it wasn't even, hi, Mom, how you doing? Hey, make sure you say hi to Mark. Oh, we're looking at the ceiling. There we go.
Yeah.
Just up a little,
Gotcha.
Up a little bit, buddy, just a little bit. There you
Get
go.
it up here.
There you go.
I'm trying to get it on this stand. Whoops, that's too much.
It's live. It's live
That's
stuff.
all right. We have a graphic that covers that. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So so talk about how you're doing business now, right? So for those who have never had the pleasure to actually walk in your shop, and it's amazing. Not only do you coach and mentor, customers, because that's what you do, I see you every time I walk in there. This is the reason I've been so excited about having this conversation with you. All the young people that work for you, right? They become like part of the family. And just to watch you, because my wife and I are observers. We watch people, right? Just watch you communicate with these young people and teach them how to serve, right? And that's what you do. You operate from a servant heart. It doesn't matter how many shoes you sell. You just want to make sure it's the right pair of shoes for the right person. So much so, my 80-year-old mother, so I have my mother, my wife and I, and all my children buy their running shoes from you. And one daughter's in Connecticut, one's out west, and they just now order them online and they ship them over. That's a pretty awesome thing you do.
A perfect example of what he's saying, Mark, is how many of your team members have gotten married from the Ragged Mountain family?
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, we're proud of all of this, and these have been gifts, you guys. You know, when people always talk about a business plan, right? You come out of Darden and you're going to open a big business, and they say, or a small business, and what's your business plan? And so many of the joys have been surprises that have popped out of the original business plan, and those relationships with, I call my Ragged Mountain kids, because at 65, when I'm working with a 15-year-old or a 17-year-old or a 22-year-old, they're my kids. And, you know, there's so many cliche things in business. When you say family, we actually really mean it. And that's not always a good thing, meaning there's going to be some tough love there. If I have to, Keith, if you were working for me at 18, I have to say, Keith, come on in the office. But we always remind the kids that
but
you
Mark,
don't get fired from a family.
You do that now, and I'm a customer, and I walk in, and you say, "Get in my office." I'm like, "Oh, damn! What did I do now? Come here. We need to talk."
The office, it sounds terrible. It's like the woodshed, but it's just to have a private conversation. Is what you're trying to do, and that's hard in a small business. We don't have corporate offices.
Sure.
You can call someone, so you call someone back in the office, and I say this over and over again that, you know, it's been one of the joys, but they're like my own children. And now Audrey and Alec, at their ages, they're in their mid-30s, they're mentoring them also. But every time you have a confrontation, and you know, confrontation is actually really a healthy term.
Sure.
So to confront someone and be honest with them, doesn't have to be screaming and yelling. And I always feel like we grow closer. Whoever that employee is, we always grow closer because we have a conversation, and it brings us that much closer. But yeah, Jerry, Audrey got married last week, our daughter. We had just had our two immediate families, and she married a Ragged Mountain employee. He had worked here for many years, and they started dating after he stopped working. But they're number 10. They're our 10th Ragged Mountain marriage. We thought that was so appropriate. And a Ragged Mountain marriage means that you have to have met while working at Ragged. And we number them. Like the other day, number 7 came up. The husband and I said, "Hey, number 7," and they know what it means. And we have Ragged Mountain purebred kids. We always joke these are kids that are offspring. But it's been a fun thing. But the point being, and the silly thing, so often people say, "Do you arrange that?" Are you kidding?
Right.
First off, that would be incredibly unprofessional. First off, it's unprofessional. Secondly, what a stupid thing. I'm not in a matchmaking business. It happens naturally.
And the last thing, Mark, the last thing you probably...
arranged marriage, no.
So do you know what a yenta is?
Yes, I do. And
You're a yenta.
Yes, people have called me. So many people think I'm Jewish, which I actually love.
Yeah.
I'm not Jewish, but I love,
sure.
Being associated with such a great religion.
Sure.
But they'll say, "You're like a Jewish yenta."
Yenta.
I said, "Well, I'm not. It just
Wow.
happens." But you guys, you know about culture and you know about environment. You talk Tony Bennett. They talk about the basketball team's culture. There's a culture here. It doesn't mean we're better than other places, but that culture lends to a family, and within a family feel these natural things happen. So, I mean, we're not the only place in the world that has people marrying that have worked there.
Right.
It's pretty neat stuff.
So one of the benefits of us growing with where we grew up and when we grew up north, it was a melting pot. I mean, my neighborhood, we had Italians, Jewish folks, Puerto Ricans. That was in the one building, right? And it's just because you lived and you went over the Jewish, your Jewish friends' house and you experienced, a shiva. You experienced all this stuff and it just kind of melted and came in. in there. So let's give a little shout out to that gorgeous wife of yours. She accomplished, as you know, I'm a Marine, right? And she accomplished something pretty awesome. And I just want to let you know, I ran that same race that same year, but didn't do as well. So why don't you tell about that?
Oh, you ran the same year?
I did.
Yeah. I mean, talk about, coming out of unexpected. Cynthia was a great runner at Michigan State, and she decided last minute to enter the Marine Corps Marathon. This is back in the early 80s.
What year was
she had
that?
come out of college. Pardon? Is 81, 82 is when she won both those years. And, it's something very special.
So let's put this in perspective. She won 2 years in a row, back to back, the Marine Corps Marathon.
That's big
for
time.
women. Won it.
Yeah.
So I ran that.
Stuff.
I ran that in 1981. I will not tell you my time, but take her time and double it, and maybe you're close.
Yeah. Well,
that's huge, man.
That was a surprise the first time. Second time she went back, she tried to win it again and was lucky enough to. But that's something you have the rest of your life.
The quality of people.
Yeah.
Listen to the words he just used. Lucky enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it is. I mean, it's a lot about luck. I'm
Sure,
sorry to say. You
sure.
can train and train and
Sure.
train, but things have to align that
But it's
day.
a mentality that you guys have. It's a way you guys function. It's the way you guys run your business. It is why we love going there. And it's funny. My wife is Austrian, right? So she tends to look at numbers a little bit more than I do. I'm Italian and Irish. Forget about numbers, right? What's numbers? If I go someplace and buy something, she goes, so how much did you spend on that? I'll walk home with a Ragged Mountain running shop, and she'll never ask me how much I spent, ever.
Oh,
so
wow.
that means something.
Yeah.
That means something.
Yeah.
So tell the folks now, I want to come there because you guys really set up this great system. If I want to come there and buy a pair of shoes from you today, how does this work? COVID-19.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to use the phrase again. We've been lucky on a number of fronts. Number one, we're lucky we have this tremendous, really tremendous support system of the number of people that have shopped here over the years and just continue to believe in us. So that was in place. We had nice weather when COVID hit from March to now. I mean, I know it's been hot as blazes, but it's been attainable to do what I'm about ready to tell you what we've been doing. And then we've been lucky we have a bit of a front yard in front of our store here. So we have 6 tents out the side. I'm pretty much on the sidewalk and back against the building, and we serve people outside. We haven't let anyone inside the store except we sneak people in to go to the bathroom sometimes, and especially folks that are traveling and they've traveled here from here because Keith, people come from all over the state.
Sure.
In Culpeper and Lexington, and I had 2 people this morning from the Valley already, Bridgewater area, and Winchester. And you know what it's like. You get up in the morning, you get in the car, and you travel an hour and a half. What's the first thing you want to do? So that's been the only reason we let people inside. But to answer your question, we serve them outside. If they don't, there's still a percentage of people that don't feel comfortable with that. We're double masked, so I normally have my N95 on with my Ragged Mountain mask over, and we require folks, if we're going to serve them, to have masks on because it's a two-way street. And we, if they don't feel comfortable with that, we deliver to your house or we ship. And we've had, you keep hearing this term pivot, pivot, pivot. You hear it all the time since COVID hit, and it's so true. And if you are open-minded and positive enough and hopefully creative enough and lucky enough, again, you can pivot and find a new way to continue to serve like you have in the past, like so many restaurants have and other businesses. So we're asking a lot from our customers. We are.
But they're gladly doing it, though.
It's amazing, Keith. I'll tell you a quick story here. I had a guy a few weeks ago. He came up and he tried to come in the door. And we get this throughout the day. People say, oh, Mark, you love confrontation. I don't love confrontation. I'm comfortable with it.
You're a Jersey boy. Come on, give me a break.
But I don't get out of bed in the morning and say, okay, who can I confront today? But I know it's too bad. Any board I sit on, anytime I'm serving, race directing, you have to confront. So I said to the guy, sorry, sir, you can't go in. He goes, well, what's that about? And I started explaining to him, and I said, it's actually to keep you safe and to keep us safe. It's both ways. And he said, oh, that's just the stupidest thing. I just cannot believe that you're not going to let me go in there. And I said, sir, there's nothing in there that I can't duplicate for you outside. Just come under one of the tents. Come sit with me. 45 minutes later, Keith, Jerry, he said to me, he didn't want to leave, and he's gabbing. And some of my employees were over chatting with me, and he goes, I have absolutely loved this today. He goes, this is so smart of you to do this outside. He goes, I've loved this experience. He goes, it's so unique, blah, blah, blah. And I don't even know if he realized that he had earlier tried to push his way into the stores. Like it was completely forgotten, which is fine with me. I'd rather them leaving happy. I don't mind when they come upset, but I want everyone to leave happy. And not always successful with that, but obviously with this guy we were. He said, I'm going to tell everybody about this. I'm like, okay.
So
thanks.
I'm going to pass you back to Jerry, but before I do that, I just want to give a shout out to you, what you just said. So we talk about this all the time on this show, about being trusted advisors. Right, so just think about that word, trusted advisors. That's what you do. That's what we do in our space, right? And Yonna and I do a bunch of coaching and mentoring for real estate agents. And, there's two ways you can look at running a business. The first way is transactional. Second way is relational. That guy walked into that door thinking transaction. 45 minutes with you just developed a relationship, a lifelong relationship, because this guy, I guarantee you, I know it because I've seen you do it. This guy's going to keep on coming back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He'll tell his friends, and that's how you grow business. That's how you run a small business. So look, I'm going to pass you back over. Thank you. Jerry's going to ask you a couple questions to see if we got anything coming off the feed, and I'll let you get back to selling some shoes, man. Good
Mark,
to see you, brother.
Thanks, Keith. And
Mark.
Keith, and I'll end with you real quick, Keith, that you're spot on, because real estate is so critical. It's one of the biggest things people physically purchase in their life is a house.
Sure.
And what's the number one thing people say over and over again is, can I trust this?
Sure.
Is there something hidden here? Is the basement going to suddenly leak after, so that relation. And I'm dealing with people's safety in a different way. Sure. It's not a house, but it's their body. And so I'm not a doctor, but we try and keep people safe and comfortable. And that's, you're right.
We as an industry adapted pretty quickly to this, because safety is important. And you may not know this, but I teach a realtor safety course, because, we tend to, there was, I think last year, 13 real estate agents killed. This is, just think about what we do. My wife, Yonna, right? She'll walk into a house, do an open house, and people come in there that she doesn't know. It's very similar to you, except you have some other folks around you. But typically, if you're in a house by yourself and somebody comes in, so there's some safety thing to it. But relationships is what it's all about. We love helping millennials, just like you do. We love helping young people, and we can say that at our age, right? We forget that we used to be young, and we got a little thing going on here, right? We do a Batman and Robin kind of thing where Jerry's Robin and I'm Batman. But in any event, thank you. I'm going to pass you to Jerry.
Thanks
He's going to close
me.
out. Love what you do. This is a series I started of local businesses. Couldn't think of anybody better. So I'll pass you over.
Mark, first time we met, 2003. I am a third year at UVA, and Chris Wright says to me, he's like, you got to meet this guy, Mark Lorenzoni. And I'm like, okay. And Chris Wright says, we build once or twice a week an entire aspect of the sports section around the content Mark Lorenzoni sends to us. And Mark Lorenzoni, I'm going to embarrass him a little bit, guys, comes up, or maybe he still does. He was creating a power poll of teams. He was featuring the runners at the high school level. And he was literally putting a face and words and perspective and stories to a sport that often got overlooked by a sports department because we did not have the resources to cover it. Mark, literally, we saw him as part of the team. So I want to throw that to you, Mark, your passion for covering the sport, even at the high school level, and giving notoriety in the spotlight to athletes that certainly deserve it, Mark.
Yeah. Thanks, Jerry. We're still doing it. Alec does a lot of the work now, my oldest son. And Jerry, has its roots, and Keith, you'd be interested, Mendham High School, my senior year, I was their best quarter miler, which is not saying very much, but I could run one lap on the track. And one time, there were always the results of the track meets in the local paper, but they were tiny, but I was always so proud of it. But one time there was a photograph in there, and I was finishing second in a race, and I had the worst look on my face. My form looked horrible, but I thought I had hit the big time. Cover of the Rolling Stones, Sports Illustrated. I had a little black and white photograph, and I just know that never gets old. That was 1972, 73. Now today, how many years later, high school kids, their DNA is no different. Sure, they have social media now and they listen to different music, blah, blah, blah. But that actual hard wiring, no different. Every 16, 17, 18-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever. It isn't that they're egos. It's just nice to be recognized for your hard work. And, thank goodness through people like you guys, we've had those outlets to promote. It's more than just promoting the kids. It's promoting the sport. And I can't tell you how many grandparents will tell me, I saw my grandson's name in the poll the other day. He goes to Louisa High School, and he's number 8 in the poll, and I follow that every week. It's pretty neat.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you how many times we got phone calls at the newspaper, Mark, about the poll. Literally, people giving you props or asking about the poll or inquiring about the poll. Just a true testament to you. How about this question, Mark? Maybe give us a perspective on a coach or a runner. And I know you've had so many fabulous coaches and so many fabulous runners in this area, but maybe two that stand out and why. Give us some personification of these guys for us.
Oh, gosh. I'm so biased to my son, Adrian, over at Albemarle now because I think he's just done an incredible job there. But as far as the sages, Adrian's been coaching 5 years. So as far as the sages go, I think of someone like a Winston Brown at Fuma or Jerry Cutright at Louisa, Lindy Bain, that have been around the block for a long time for a reason. They create cultures. They're fair people. They're consistent. They have the best interests of the athletes in mind. They inspire. They don't put down people. Having a nickname on a team is actually from Jersey. That's a sign of endearment as long as that nickname isn't derogatory.
Sure.
And at Western, for example, all the kids had nicknames. I think Adrian's nickname was Zoni. I mean, how is that derogatory? His last name's Lorenzoni. No, that's a good one. But I just think they create environments for kids to flourish. And isn't that what school or athletics should be about? Flourishing, bringing the best out of each individual. And there's just a few coaches there that I've admired, and there's a reason their longevity to them, right? I mean, it isn't just success or wins and losses. It's that they create environments that parents feel really good about their kids being involved with.
It's funny you should say that. When Yvonne went to go swim on Division I, the coach is what made the difference of where, right? It wasn't the where, it was the coach on it. I'm going to ask a little bit of a difficult question. Great comments that you just made. How the hell are we going to do this in COVID-19?
Yeah.
Right?
So
can we do that?
They're being very creative. I know my son never stops with it. Some coaches are going in different directions with it, but if you're following along with what the guidelines are, and it makes it a little more challenging, but there are ways you can do it.
Good.
Look, we're communicating right now. We're not in the same room with each other. So two other names I thought of is Lance Wisen and Buzz Mayo.
I knew you were going to say Buzz Mayo. I love Buzz Mayo.
I mean, I wasn't prepared for these questions, so you think of which you shouldn't have.
We
to
did that on purpose, by the way.
Like that. But on the other hand, you think about I've been covering, promoting, involved, directing at every level of this sport for over 40 years, and God, we've been blessed in this community. And I know that starts to sound cliche, but so often, Jerry, we used to say, you would say it. Why is Central Virginia such a hotbed for running.
Yep.
Well, it's learning from the great mentors, and then building a Doug Bloor at Monticello. He was new to coaching. Kate Pugh at Western, they were new to coaching, and they end up having their own programs, but they mimicked other coaches' successes. The Witts, Sherry and Chuck Witt. I mean, I could go on and on. So, sure, I'm leaving someone off. It's Ben Hale at Woodbury. Oh my gosh, talk about a maker of young men. He's done incredible work. So I actually don't think we have any bad coaches, weirdly enough. And I'm a pretty opinionated guy.
Really, you're opinionated.
Yes,
Who knew?
You're just discovering that now, Keith.
I'm a little slow, Mark. It takes me a couple decades to figure something out. But hey, so you told the story about the picture and the recognizing of you way back in the Stone Age, right?
Well, it wasn't recognizing me. It was a photograph of another boy winning a race, but I was in the shot.
Yeah. And so
it wasn't Mark Lorenzoni finishes second.
So
it's, Biff Douglas, wins the race.
So I'm trying to make up for that now, right? So that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to recognize you, your family, and the business for the awesome work that you do. So I think I promised you I would get you out here at 10:45, and I lied to you. It's much past that. But have a great day, my friend.
I loved it.
If the director wasn't looking at me, we'd probably talk for another.
Mark, just so you know, Mark, you have 5 different states and 3 countries watching you right now. We have a question. Yeah. We literally have a question coming in from the UK. Yeah, do you want a question from the UK, Mark?
Bring it.
Okay, so question from the UK coming in. Why did you and Cynthia pick the UVA corner in the first place for your shop?
Yeah. Well, that's a great one. And why have we never left the corner, Jerry?
That's a good one,
with
too.
all the different shopping centers that have opened up and all the temptations. No, why do we stay here? This is going to sound cliche, but I know you know this. Cynthia and I both lived here. And so when we decided to open up a store there wasn't one like this, so we weren't trying to compete with someone. We were literally trying to provide a service that wasn't really there yet. We said, we want to be near the university, not to capture the student's business. But Jerry, and it's been so true, I don't want to grow old. You never grow old down here. Honestly, there is so much energy, so much vibrancy. We have hospital, doctors, nurses, professors, researchers, people traveling to visit. We have all the students that come and go, the athletes. I mean, the Tony Bennett's that, come in the store, the people. It never, ever gets old. And I learn so much every day from the vibrancy. And I'm not saying you don't get that same experience in a mall, but give me a break.
No, you don't.
Being right across from the university, like this place, wow. Yeah. I wouldn't trade it. And then our student employees, guess what? They walk to work. And every one of them has a different story to tell each day. So that's why, that's one that I was right on. I told you about all these surprises, but when I was at Michigan State, I used to say to my friends, wouldn't it be cool to stay here forever, but live on the other side? We had a corner at Michigan State. It was called Grand River. And I was there when Magic Johnson was there, so it dates me. But I got that wish. I live in a university community, and look at all the things that we have here, from Bruce Springsteen to national champion soccer teams, to great restaurants and opera and blah. I mean, golly gee. And I feel like I'm in the heart of it, right down here.
I'm ready to buy real estate
so
from
much
him.
fun.
I know. Mark is so good. Mark, your passion is palpable, and that's why people love you. All right, your passion is coming through Skype. I mean, it's just, you're an amazing person. All right, close on this, okay? I asked Andy McClure this question, too. So there's a few leaders, guys, and I'm talking to the viewers here. There's a few leaders of the corner. And Mark is not only a leader in Charlottesville and Central Virginia and the running community and the business community. He's a leader in many different ecosystems. He's certainly a leader on the UVA corner, just like Andy McClure, a leader on the UVA corner. All right, so what are we thinking, Mark? Where are we thinking with the corner? Where are we thinking Midtown, city of Charlottesville? Give us some perspective. We're a platform of hope. It's tough times out there. We're still a platform of hope. How about as a leader out there in the corner in Charlottesville? What are we thinking here with COVID going forward? I
think we're going to come out the other side. I hate to keep using these cliche terms, but we are going to come out the other side stronger. Everyone is. Even the folks that are down and out right now, it means rebranding themselves, shifting a different way. Everyone will come out stronger. It's just the way things work. I've never been through anything like this before. Nobody has. But I do know that you, with the right attitude and the right support of one another, and we're all in this together. I mean, we hear this over and over again, but we truly are. So I really believe that we will come out the other side stronger. And, you say I'm a leader on the corner. I had Andy's position. I was the corner's president many years ago, but that guy works tirelessly. Sadly, I don't give as much to the corner as I used to in that regard. He's always working with the city. The corner's an interesting place, Jerry, as you know. We're kind of caught because we're right next to UVA. We basically serve the community, but we're a neighbor, literally much more than the downtown mall as far as a physical neighbor, right? You go walk across the street and you're at the new Memorial for Enslaved Labor. You're up against the rotunda. It's pretty special, but sometimes we're caught because we pay taxes to the city. So sometimes we'll say to the city, hey, maybe come up and clean the sidewalks once in a while. And that's what the spokesperson for the corner does, is remind the city that, we're here, and 60 vibrant businesses that pay taxes and want to be good citizens. It gets stereotyped sometimes, but I'm proud to be down here, and I love it. As far as I can tell, you can't ever tell, but we'll never leave. So, and Andy's done a great job. But thanks for that, Jerry. Yeah, we are going to be okay. I know people are hurting a lot more than Ragged Mountain has been hurting, and they might say, "Oh, that's easy for you to say, Mark," but I just believe it. If you don't believe it, you're giving up on life, and that's not good attitude to have. And I'm not saying it's easy.
Got to believe it before you can make it happen.
I agree. You got to believe it. You got to vision it.
Sure.
And then you can make it a reality.
Yeah,
He's 100% right.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
And, when we closed the doors, even though we were physically closing the doors, but we were still doing business, that first month, all we did was deliver and ship for free. And I was in the car 5 hours every single day with Cynthia, arguing, the Garmin, getting lost. We delivered from Earlysville to North Garden, out to Keswick, and out a ton in Crozet. And we'd come home exhausted. We'd work in here in the morning, getting packages together, but then slowly but surely it evolved to people feeling more comfortable coming outside. We've been lucky, I get it, but no luck and all of this positive attitude doesn't come with hard work. You have to be willing to work. You can't sit back and say, it's going to happen. All that positive attitude has to be channeled into you also. Look at you, Jerry. You've recreated yourself in so many different ways over the years from that time when you were writing as a new kid on the block of the Daily Progress.
That's right.
I always think it's the classic thing. Doors close, and there's a attic window somewhere. You got to find it. Go in that attic window. Holy mackerel! What's here? This is awesome. I love it.
I love Mark.
I love it, man.
I love this guy.
Maybe I want to do this now. I want to be in the attic. I don't want to be down there in the front door. So I don't know. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy. That's the only way we're going to get through this. And we got a great town. So
you're amazing. You've made this interview so compelling, Mark. You have 4 countries and 6 states and all of Charlottesville watching you now. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Mark, thanks, man. See you soon.
You are awesome, dude. Say hi to the family.
Well, you too. Will, Jerry.
Bye, Mark. Bye.
Okay.
Be well.
I love that guy.
I love him to death. I was, as you were talking, I'm trying to make notes and thinking, so how are we going to follow up
how do you follow up Mark Lorenzoni?
How do you fill out the last 10 minutes?
He's a legend.
When you use the words man, myth, and legend, he's definitely a legend in the thing. And it's just, I meant it. I was talking to my youngest daughter, and the first thing she said to me, "How's Mark?" And oh, by the way, I got to order shoes. And my mother, God love her, she's knocking on 80. I won't give the exact age.
She's still running?
No, she walks.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
What the stat that Mark gave is 100% right. So
50%.
Well, they're over 50. They're
right.
my age and up. Okay, maybe a little older than 50. but the reality of it is...
I was just going to give you that one.
I know you were. Well, we got to get our chemistry rolling the last 10 or 15 minutes of the show. But the reality is, my mom says, I'm not going to Ragged Mountain Run and Shop, which, eventually she does. She says, I'm going to go see Mark. I need new shoes. Right?
Yeah.
And she'll go there and they'll walk, they spend the time. So if you've never actually been through the process, first of all, this isn't like going to some mega store or whatever, and you walk in, you point a pair of shoes, somebody goes in the back and hands them to you.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be prepared. It's an event.
Yeah, you're going to spend an hour there.
You're going to spend an hour there, right? And
they're going to do right by you. They're going to make sure your shoes are the shoes for your feet, as opposed to some shoes you just get off a shelf.
We're talking about shoes, but this is about service.
Yeah.
Right? And getting it right and taking care of the client and taking care of the customer and providing the customer this trusted advisors, right? And really, we don't even look at price tag. Is that the right shoe for me? Okay, great. That's what we're going to buy. And then usually I'm going to embarrass them a little bit. Pre-COVID, if I'd go in and buy a pair of shoes, I'd walk across the street to Bodo's and pick up a bunch of bagels and bring it back to them. And say, hey guys, thanks for what you did.
I love it.
And all that stuff.
I love it. 10 weddings, 10 marriages from employees in the Ragged Mountain Running Shop family. Number 10, his daughter.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, that is just a beautiful, beautiful story.
So the question is, I wonder when she sees her, it goes, hey, 10.
I think that's what it says, 10.
Hey, 10. Hey, 10.
10.
Hey, 10.
7.
Yeah, well, I'm just, we had to put the kids are going to have this big wedding next year, and I had to put a cap on it because otherwise I think Mark and his family would have been invited to the wedding.
Scott Williams, Mark Lorenzoni was always a great supporter of Meriwether Lewis physical education.
There you go.
Mark Lorenzoni, we are grateful for you at Meriwether Lewis. That's Scott Williams, the entrepreneur. Logan, your colleague.
Yeah.
Hi, Mark. Wonderful family, wonderful business. This from Grace. I buy my shoes every single year from the Lorenzonis. They are a class act.
So something too important to talk about what Ragged Mountain does. It's just not running shoes. I buy my Birkenstocks there.
Yeah.
Right, there's all kinds of products that they have that they can help you.
If you could think of iconic businesses in Charlottesville, Ragged Mountain, Bodo's, the Virginian restaurant's the oldest restaurant in the city of Charlottesville, 1923.
You're doing good so far.
Iconic brands that come to mind for you.
Well, obviously, what came to mind first is Ragged, because that's who I wanted to showcase first, to start off this series of showcasing and giving some shout-outs to local businesses. But, yeah, so, one of our sponsors, MarieBette, that's becoming a brand name, right? People, just roll off the tip of their tongue, excuse me. But, if you... obviously, you would say UVA is a brand, right?
Yeah.
Right. But if you're talking about local, that Aberdeen Barn, right?
Yeah.
Some of these iconic businesses that have been around for literally decades.
C&O, another one.
Yeah.
Roy Wheeler.
Yeah, Roy Wheeler. There you go.
Is Roy Wheeler the longest standing real estate brand in the community? I think it is.
I know it is.
Yeah.
Over 100. Michael's going to get mad at me. 127 years, 28 years.
I mean, Roy Wheeler is the most iconic real estate brand.
It is the most iconic. It is it's a legacy brand. On that, there's decades and then there's over 100 years.
Yeah.
So it's pretty amazing thing. And it's funny, one of the two topics that I wanted to fill out the show with was why is it a good time for sellers, right? And why is it a good time for buyers?
1927.
1927?
1927.
Did Michael correct me?
No. I'm going to the website. The website's beautiful. Yeah. I think this is a Vincent website, right? Website.
Yeah, it's amazing work that he's done. Shout out to Vincent.
Beautiful Vincent's work. 1927, Charlottesville was introduced into a new way of doing real estate. Roy Wheeler Realty was founded with the philosophy that service is our most important product. The business Roy Wheeler himself borrowed $300 to open Roy Wheeler Realty on the top floor of the Monticello drugstore.
Yeah. So I think I got that tattooed somewhere. I just can't.
1927, Smith.
1927.
1927. Write it on the palm of your hand. There's a test on Friday.
1927.
Or did you ever do it between your fingers?
You know.
You never did that. You always got A's. You never had to write a couple things on your hand.
Mr. Miller, I never got an A. I think the only thing I know about A, it starts the alphabet.
You score at the IQ level when it comes to street smarts and chutzpah and hustle.
There you go. I don't.
And like I say many times, I would rather score off the charts with street smarts than book smarts.
Well.
And I know where you're going to go with this.
Yeah.
This is where you say one of my biggest regrets. Is that what you're going to say?
I'm going to let you finish.
No, okay.
I'll have a sip of coffee.
I know you.
Regret's a strong word, but I do wish I had a formal education. So I wish anybody who's ever got an email from me would wish that I knew how to write.
No. You do know how to write. And one of the things you've done really well.
Come on now. We had a client.
You do the voice text. The voice emails to have your back. That's why you're good with that.
It does not Siri does not understand
She
Yankee.
does not understand Brooklyn?
She does not understand Yankee.
What were you going to say? We had a client. What were you going to say there?
We have a client. Remember Mona Daniels? Hopefully they're watching. We're playing the adjective game, and I had to ask her, so what's an adjective?
Yeah, she gave you the sheet of adjectives.
She gave me the sheet, yeah. Which she still owes us that graphic on Realtor and how to actually phonetically pronounce it. But she's slacking up. I'm going to have to give her a call.
Mona and Trevor Daniel, we love you guys here on Real Talk.
Very much so. So, but I wanted to kind of talk a little bit why this is a good time for buyers and sellers and all that stuff. But I really don't have to because Mark did it for us, right? Why is Charlottesville? Why is it this thing? We were out west. I wear my UVA hat. We go up north. We wear my UVA hat. Everybody's go, oh man, Charlottesville. We should live there. And we have so much to offer. And that's why people are coming here. That's why inventory is low. And even though with the great, I don't call it a recession. I call it depression because we've had this conversation before. If you've lost a job,
it's a depression.
It's a recession.
Yeah.
And if you lose everything you had, which we did,
then you're really depressed.
It's a depression.
Yeah.
Right. So, but
everybody's got a different circumstance.
Yeah, and you should be understanding of that, right? Your world is a little different than my world, and we kind of understand that. But again, we're getting to be a little repetitive on the show about why it's a good time for sellers because it's as obvious as the day is long. Right. When you're at 3% or less, right? You can buy a lot more house, right? For $1,200, you can principal and interest roughly. You can buy a $300,000 house, and why is it a great time for buyers? It's for the same kind of reason, right? You buy a home today at 3% or whatever it is, you just locked it in for 30 years. It's never going up on you, and so it's I could not. I've been doing this since '87, either directly only for myself or for other folks.
And you've never in that time seen a better opportunity. Is that fair?
And I just to borrow some of Mark's words, and I'm not trying to be dramatic. I mean, that's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's
facts.
It's facts. You could not see a better time to sell. I mean, my God, on Charlottesville, this is from the beginning of the month. There's only 18 homes on the market.
That's nuts. This is the city of Charlottesville.
Yep, and
You guys hear that?
And they're 10. The average days on market are 10. So, but the pending in the same week was 23 units, 23 homes. So right now, from August 1 to today, there was 18 homes active. That same period of time, from August 1 to today, I apologize, can't read my own handwriting. 23 homes went under market. So somebody who's a lot smarter than me can figure out what the percentage difference is on that. But the bottom line is we're putting more homes on market than are coming on the market. And then, we're jumping year over year almost 56K. So, if everybody's thinking Charlottesville is slowing down and people are moving out to the country, that's happening. That's been happening. But man, we had this house in Concord Ave. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to say the address. Sorry. Whoops.
No one heard. No one heard.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching,
All
right?
right, but without saying the address, tell everybody what happened.
So it's in Greenbrier.
Yeah, it's in Greenbrier.
Yeah. So we put
City
it on
of Charlottesville.
City of Charlottesville.
Yeah.
We put it on the market on Friday.
This past Friday.
Correct. By Saturday afternoon, we had it under contract. And, we talk about it as on the show on top of trusted advisors and all this kind of great stuff. But the real estate market is really these 5 things we constantly talk about, right? Right location. Well, this was killer location. Right price. The seller trusted Yonna and I's analysis of the market, and we priced it right. Right? We weren't over market or under the market. We priced it right where it needed to be. Right features. The house had a bunch of renovation works done on it, so there wasn't that much left to do in it. Had some awesome features in it. And the new one we introduced time, right? The timing on this is perfect. And we had multiple offers, and we put it on the contract. I don't want to,
Right.
I
I know. Knocking on IKEA over there, Smith.
we wanted to close, right? But so it's clearly. If you, there's some, I'm sure a ton of real estate agents watching this, and, seek out one of them, seek out one of the trusted advisors. And if you're thinking about selling or buying, man, you couldn't ask for a better time to do it.
I agree.
And we were having this conversation, Yonna and I, this morning. Why do you think this absorption? Because this is what we call an absorption rate. As homes go on the market, comes on off. Why is it so upside down? Meaning more buyers than sellers going in there. It's because of the sub 3%. I think if that was a little bit higher, you'd see kind of a more equal on, equal off. But I'm not, crystal ball. I'm not seeing any of it change.
Rest of the year, same thing.
I think even 2021.
Get out. Good for us.
We'll see. We'll see how November goes. Right. That might
You're saying the election. Just leave it at that.
It could make a difference. Yeah. But I was.
Do you think slow period over Q4 and into Q1, or no slow period? You know how the market really kind of gets a little quiet. You're not seeing. You don't think so?
So anything we chatter here is my opinion.
Sure, of course.
But it's informed. I do a ton of reading.
You're legit, dude. We know you're legit.
Oh, thank you.
What do you guys do? Can I just spitball here? You guys do 12 to 18 million in sales a year?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Can I say that?
I think you just did.
Yeah. Ballpark?
It could be.
You guys are legit. You guys are real deal. So your opinion matters.
Well, I don't know about that, but
I know that's true.
Yeah. So, but the focus on what Mark says, if we were doing zero, right? God forbid. But if we were doing zero, it's like how Mark runs his business is how we want to run a business. Of course. This is all about developing relationships. And that's why I really wanted him to kick off this kind of series of once or twice a month of showcasing businesses.
Well, what were you going to say? So you were saying, with your informed opinion, Q4, Q1, you're feeling still punch going Q4, Q1?
I still think I might win that bet in Q4. I really do. And the
wow. You said that with confidence.
Yeah. Well,
I'm nervous now.
Yeah.
I'm nervous now.
It doesn't really matter.
I know. We're still going to drink together as friends. No one loses here. One of us just gets to take half the bottle home with him. The other half is going to get drunk. We got a bottle of bourbon based on a Q4 bet, guys.
So you think you're going to bring half a bottle home?
I don't know.
That ain't going to happen.
We're going to give some to Alfred over here.
Alfred.
And as Guthrie said, he's paying for it if I win, so he's going to get a taste, right?
Yeah. Well,
so you feel that that's the first.
You
feel it's going to be good?
A couple of weeks ago or a month ago, I probably would say I was a little bit nervous about losing.
You did say that.
Yeah. So, when I start reading really smart people, and they're not projecting. I was just reading the Virginia Realtors, Lisa. We had her on the show, Star Event. I read an article this morning about her that she wrote about.
She's the chief economist of Virginia Realtors.
That's correct. I apologize. Yeah. So, I read a really interesting article that, she's not looking at this to slow down at all.
Even into Q4 and Q1.
No. Yeah. Of course, the unknown is the unknown, right?
Yeah. You're saying if we get another spike. Is that what you mean by that?
That and if interest rates spike much, which they
wouldn't go that quickly.
Well, if the Fed reverses what it's doing, it could change very quickly, right? But I don't see the Fed doing that. I think they're pretty smart. They know if they do a quick reversal on their support or their subsidy, for lack of a better
collapse.
term. Yeah, everything would collapse. Yeah. So what time is that? Look, sorry, we're past. As always, we tend to do this.
Yeah.
Excited about Friday.
Yeah, what's going on Friday?
So we're going to get a little lofty here, and we're going to talk about the Portland's residential infill project,
nice.
and I've got a rock star calling in from Portland.
Right, West Coast time.
West Coast time.
So 7:15. So he'll be on about 7:20.
He'll be on about 7:20 in the morning. His time.
Yeah, his time.
It's that whole bottle of bourbon. I just had to ship one over that way. But a gentleman by the name of Robert Liberty. He's.
I see what you're doing here.
What's that?
You're getting this idea that's percolating in Portland, this residential infill project, and you're getting that idea with your network and your tentacles and your influence percolating in Charlottesville.
Brother, I've been indirectly part of this program for the last 2 years, trying to help out a little bit as part of this national cohort. For 2 years, I've been trying to push this.
And
out.
now you got a cannon at your disposal.
I got a cannon.
I know, you got some influence now. This is smart, what you're doing here.
Probably a little bit opportunistic.
Well, then you take the interview, and then we can take the link to the interview, and you can email it to whoever you need to email it, which obviously the wheels are turning on this IQ genius, street smart guy, and he's already thought about this.
That ship sailed some time ago.
Look,
I think it's... Look, everything's got holes in it. Everything has challenges to it. Everything, it's not, it's not the panacea fix to everything. Oh my God, we just found it. But I think it's a great opportunity that the city of Charlottesville should look at. We have an opportunity here, a couple of mics. What's the Instagram? How many folks?
A lot of followers. Well, Instagram was a little, we got to work on Instagram.
But we
reach over 250,000 people a year through this network, which is freaking shocking.
So the Instagram kind of
No, the first 10 minutes was good. And then you know what happened is, this is what we got to do next time, is we got to make sure that we have your phone so it doesn't auto lock.
Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah, because you know what I'm saying, where you can keep it where it stays on the whole time? Because that's why it dropped.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But, we're good.
We'll fix it by Friday.
Can you tell them what the residential infill project is? Because this question just got asked on the feed. What is Keith talking about?
So we did do slides today. So can you do slide 5? Because a picture tells 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So I think that's the saying. So with the residential and you and I have been joking about this. The actual acronym for this is
RIP. Yeah, why would they do that? Yeah. Why would they put an acronym of RIP for a project they're trying to birth?
I literally sat in a meeting in Portland a couple of years ago,
say that?
and I said, "What the hell are you guys thinking?"
What did they say?
They went, "This is Portland."
Yeah, we like to keep things weird.
That's exactly what they said.
Keep Portland weird.
Keep Portland weird. I went, "Okay, whatever." But man, somebody in the PR business and
in Portland
and public relations fell apart. So basically, what it is to take single family who's nobody.
You crack me up.
So this is the best part of the show.
I know it is. This is why people watch.
So what they're doing is they're taking single family residential lots, right? And what they're doing. Thank you, Judah, for putting that up. They're allowing increased density in that, and there's a bunch of rules and regulations. And if you're and it's in Portland's case, it's up to 6 units per. So if you have a single family detached home or lot, and you want to break it up into like what we would call a duplex. So in the city of Charlottesville, you can't. Thanks again, Judah. You can't put a duplex home on a lot unless it's a duplex lot, right? So what they're doing is saying, look, if you've got in our case, in the city of Charlottesville, R1 and R1S, which is pretty much the two things, you can put multiple residents in one lot. So basically what they're doing is they're taking single-family detached lots and increasing the density on it. Ton of rules and regulations. They got to decrease parking and square footage minimums and all these different things. But what it has the potential of doing is increasing density, increasing product types. And again, if you are going to do affordable, you get more discount, you get more incentives from tax
rebates,
and so forth and so on. So we're going to get into that in great length on Friday. I think this is a doable approach from the city's perspective. We just talked about what we rattled off some numbers, right? We're doing. We've only have 8 unit. We have 18 active right now in the city of Charlottesville from the first of. So, I'm a big believer of it. As you know, I'm a promoter of affordable housing.
Yeah.
This is a great way to do that, and we shall see.
I love it.
And I'm hopeful. I'm going to tag Neil. I really hope he watches.
Neil Williamson, watch Friday's show. Neil Williamson, Friday's
I'd like
show.
him to pick it apart.
Yeah, Friday's show, Neil's going to be a good one for you. Friday at 10:15. He's Keith Smith. He's the distinguished gentleman
Thank you.
of the Yes Team Realtors. This is Real Talk. It's presented by the Yes Team Realtors. It's presented by MarieBette, Dairy Market,
Oh, yeah.
Scott Morris,
Yep.
Pearl Certification,
Yep.
Roy Wheeler,
Yep.
Interstate Pest and Service Companies,
Yep.
Charlottesville Settlement
There
Company.
you go.
I got it all right
well
there.
Done. Well
Yeah,
done.
right
Bravo.
there, right there.
Thank
We're
you to
testing it.
everybody. We could not, really, seriously, we couldn't do the Batman, Robin, and Alfred show and Bat Dog show.
Yeah.
Soon to be debuted in October.
On Halloween,
On Halloween.
this man's going to put us in tights and costume on camera. I will do it. You know I will do it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of bourbon
All
beforehand.
right. If we need to do that, we'll do that too.
But yeah, so without them, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you, and thank you.
Thank you. Real Talk, guys, Tuesdays and Fridays, 10:15 on the I Love CVille Network, presented by the
Oh,
Yes
there he is.
Team Realtors. Well done, Judah Wickhauer. Judah Wickhauer loves this. Judah's our director. Yonna, we love you as
So
well.
I don't really, if I want to look like that, I don't really need the padded suit. I kind of look a little.
Well, you're saying you're shredded and you have a six-pack?
No, kind of more round. Kind of
Yeah.
like.
Wait,
put
are
that
you going to
picture back
use?
up?
You said you were going to use the padded suit
I
for
don't
the
know.
pectorials.
Maybe I don't need it so much.
Well, yeah.
Got it.
This Batman on screen is very different than today's version of Batman.
That's exactly
Because
right.
today's version of Batman is like a muscle-bound dude.
Yeah.
Is he not?
I kind of feel more like the 1960s version.
What is that, like the lean?
Oh, maybe round.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, see how round he is?
I
He's
don't
a little
think
round.
He has a beer belly. He does not round.
Well, yeah. You don't see a six-pack, that's for sure.
Well, it's covered by the belt.
Nah.
It's covered. There's Alfred in the back.
There's Alfred.
There's Alfred back there. Oh, Judah's loving this. I like when Judah laughs. That means it's funny.
We just need somebody to buy us a Batmobile, and we'll be good to go.
Who's going to do that?
Not Yonna Smith, I can assure you that.
How much was that? Is what she's going to say. How much did you spend on that Batmobile? Is that what you're saying?
I think it's time to wrap up the
Okay,
show.
all right. I think you're right. Real Talk, presented by the Yes Team Realtors, Tuesdays and Fridays on the I Love CVille Network at 10:15. You guys have a good morning. Take care. I think it's time to wrap. Oh, that was hilarious.
Sorry about that, the lockup.
That's okay.
Somebody needs to teach me how to do that.